Hi everyone, and welcome to Insurance Exam Tips on how to answer questions when it relates to claims and relates to a coinsurance penalty. So I'm just going to jump into it, but remember, if you have any questions, comments, anything, etc., please send me an email, and don't forget to subscribe if you like it, because there's going to be more videos to come. So I'm going to read the question first. It's going to relate to a homeowner's policy. So a HO3 policy is written with a policy limit of $400,000 on a house that has a replacement cost of $600,000. If the insured suffers a $60,000 loss, how much would the insurer pay? So I'll let you take a look at that just for a moment. So this is a question that would be similar to something you might get on an exam. First, whenever you get a question that asks you how much of the partial claim an insurer is going to pay, this is a clue for you to determine whether or not you need to use the coinsurance formula. For those of you who are not familiar with the coinsurance formula, I do have a lecture on the coinsurance that shows you how to do the formula. So hopefully that will help you. And we're also going to do it on this question as well. So there are some things that we need to make sure that we are understanding in this question. If the question gives you the amount the policy was written for, the replacement cost value, and the claim, then it is usually a coinsurance type of question. So in this question, it definitely does give you the amount. Let me see if I can highlight that for you. So the amount that the policy was written for is right here. Policy limit means that it was written for $400,000. Okay, the replacement cost is right here, was $600,000. And then the claim, so if the insured suffers a $60,000 loss, then this is the claim that they're going to try to get to fix their loss, right? But how much would the insurer pay? So there are some things that, now that we have all three of those things, this is telling me that this is a coinsurance question. There are some things that we want to make sure. We need to identify certain things. We need to identify the replacement cost, which we already did. We need to identify what 80% of the replacement cost is. We need to identify the coverage amount, and then we need to identify the claim amount. Now, if the coverage amount is equal to or greater than 80% of the replacement cost value, then there's no need to do the coinsurance formula, because the insurer will pay 100% of the partial claim. But if the claim amount is less than 80% of the replacement cost value, then there's going to be a coinsurance penalty, and we'll need to go ahead and do the formula. So I went ahead and put that on here for you. The formula for coinsurance is the did over should times the claim. What we did insure it for, what we should have insured it for. We should have insured it for at least 80% of the replacement cost. And then we multiply it by the claim, which in this case is 60,000, and that will tell us how much of the claim the insurance company is going to pay. Okay, so let's do it. So I put in the steps here. So identify the replacement costs. Replacement costs, again, is right here. $600,000 is the replacement cost. We also want to identify 80% of the replacement cost. So that's the whole point we want to identify the replacement cost, is because we want to identify the what 80% of it is, right? So if we take the $600,000 and we multiply it by 0.8, which is still 80%, then we should get 400. Let me see. Write that down here. Oh. So then we should get $480,000. Okay. This is 80% of the replacement cost. That is this part. Okay. Next, we want to identify the coverage amount. So where it says that the policy limit was $400,000, this means that the insured put coverage on his house for $400,000. He could have put $600,000 of coverage on the home because that is the replacement cost of the home, but instead he put $400,000. So if the amount was $400,000 and 80% of 600,000 is 480, this is telling me that he was not insuring his property for adequate coverage. So we are going to have to do the coinsurance did over should times the claim formula. Okay, so also, lastly, we want to identify the claim amount. So the claim amount is showing here as $60,000 because it says the insured suffered a loss of $60,000, and how much would the insurer pay of that $60,000. So this is what we want to find out. So now we're going to go for did over should times the claim. So we did insure it. The coverage amount was $400,000, right? We did insure it for $400,000, but we should have insured it for at least $480,000 in order to get the full partial claim. So we should have insured it for $480,000. And then we multiply that by the claim, which is $60,000. Okay, so if we work that out, $400,000 divided by $480,000 comes out to a decimal of 0.833, and it goes on forever, so I'm just going to go 0.833. Then we multiply that by the claim, so I'm going to bring that claim down, and that equals $50,000. Okay, I was trying to circle that there. Okay, so $50,000 is the answer. So that's saying that because the insured was not insured for at least $480,000, then he's not going to get $60,000 paid off of that partial claim. So that's why we did the coinsurance formula. So instead of getting the $60,000 paid to pay off the claim, he's going to get $50,000. The correct answer is $50,000. So that is how you answer a coinsurance question. The more you do, the better you'll get, and sometimes you won't even have to do the coinsurance did over should times the claim formula. You might be able to do it in your head, especially if you're math savvy, which I'm really not. So I'll stick with formulas, which is going to help some of you who are not really good at math. So again, if you have any questions, email me. I'll do my best to get back with you and try to answer any questions that you have. If you like this lecture, subscribe because, like I said, there's going to be more to come. And once again, I am your insurance lady. My name's Rebecca. You guys have a good day.